This is a picture the paper took using the model. This is one of Ed's original photographs.
I think the model that was found closely resembles many of Ed Walter's pictures. It doesn't exactly match, but it's very close. And perhaps there is another model or a variation of that paper plate model that is actually the one that appears in the pictures, if this is a hoax.
The model is 9 inches across and 6 inches high. The black portholes are drawn on a strip of drafting paper, which has been cut from one of Ed Walter's discarded house designs.
After a little bit of research, we discovered that this plan, that makes the center part of this model, was designed on September the 7th, 1989, 2 years removed from when I took the photographs of the object in the sky in 1987.
The finding of a model is of no consequence to our sighting, because what we saw was not a model.
The truth is that I know that what I saw could not have been a small model dangled in the sky, made out of paper plates. That just is not possible.
The photographs of Ed Walters are a hoax, were created for the purpose of starting the UFO as a topic of interest, and ultimately became a way for him to make a great deal of money off of a publication, as well as anything else that may follow from it.
The discovery of this model made skeptics out of people who so far had been willing to take Ed's word, but others in Gulf Breeze believed Ed implicitly. Last January, Ed Walters saw and photographed yet another UFO, and this time he was not alone.
January 8th was a normal night, it was a lovely night. Francis and I went out for our evening walk, and as I walked down the road, I cast my head over and talking to my wife, and I saw the red object in the sky.
Look, honey, there it is, it's back.
And I knew right away that I was looking at the UFO. It was high in the sky, and it was relatively bright, brighter when I first saw it than when we saw it later. I had been criticized in the past for not calling quickly when I saw the UFO, and so Francis and I ran back to the house. I got on the phone and began calling investigators. Ended up getting 3 answering machines in a row. I finally called quickly Dwayne Cook, got him, said, look, there's this thing that's about a block away from the house, and very high in the sky, but very clear, come quick.
Moments later, Ed was joined by Brenda and Buddy Pollock, Dwayne and Doree Cook, and Doree's son, Chip Holston.
All right.
As we pulled up, he was just setting up the camera in the street.
Keep looking right there. It's got a little brighter, right there, straight up.
At first, we didn't see anything, and Ed was distraught. You don't see it? You don't see it? I'm looking at it.
I don't see it,
After we watched for a while, we did, in fact, see a red glowing spot up there. I was a bit disappointed right up front, because I was expecting, when he said a big glowing object, to see something like this. And when in fact it was really more something like this.
Right there, buddy, keep watching. Right
I was trying to take photographs of it, but with this 200 and something millimeter lens, it was very difficult. It was moving around, and I was trying to follow it, and it was really hard. I managed to take a couple of shots.
A more distinct picture was taken by Chip Holston.
When I took the picture, I was looking through Ed's camera. You could see it so much better through the camera. It was really amazing. Definitely, I've never seen anything like that before. It wasn't like a helicopter or airplane that, you know, like an airplane's always moving, and a helicopter is just kind of sitting there hovering around. And this was different, like it was floating or something. It was really weird.
This is the photograph taken by Chip. Perhaps the most remarkable photo taken that night was snapped by Brenda Pollock using the camera she had brought with her.
Right there, look, Brenda. What happened to the red light?
Soon the light went out. And at that point, when it was in the black phase, I did get to take a picture because it stayed still long enough for me to be able to get off a shot.
None of the witnesses had seen what appeared in Brenda's photo with the naked eye. By the time Brenda took this photograph, the light had gone out. She used a time exposure and handheld the camera, which may account for the streak, even though the object was not lit up at the time. Amazingly, photographic experts are able to count 110 different color changes in Brenda's 3-second exposure.
It was unusual in that it did not have sharply defined edges like the light on an airplane or the light at the top of our water tank here in Gulf Breeze. It was more like fuzzy or irregular edges, and behind the red you could see a round silhouette of an object or a craft of some kind that was unlit.
The pictures taken on January 8th are markedly different from earlier UFO photographs. Ed Walters believes the distance and movement of the object that night are what accounts for this. To many, the presence of 5 witnesses bolstered Ed's claim that his earlier photos were real. It was only the second time anyone other than an immediate family member had seen him photograph a UFO.
It was wonderful to be with a crowd of people and stand there and watch this object, because it's no longer that you're on your own.
The January 8th UFO sighting seemed to strengthen Ed's case that his photographs were no hoaxes. But then the UFO model hit the front pages, and 1 week later Ed suffered another devastating setback. A young Gulf Breeze resident came forward and claimed that 2.5 years earlier he had helped Ed Walters to hoax UFO photographs. This surprise witness was 20-year-old Tommy Smith, and as his story unfolded, people in Gulf Breeze didn't know who or what to believe.
In an effort to verify Tommy's account, we had him walk through the procedure.
In a local newscast, Tommy Smith demonstrated how Ed Walters managed to hoax the pictures by using a model.
It had the, like I said, the tripod down below with the actual flashlight taped to it. It's one of the flashlights with the red buttons that snap on and off, and pipe on top, piece of tape around it, and everything was black.
According to Tommy, in January of 1988, Ed gave him these 6 pictures and told him to take them to the local papers.
2 main reasons why I didn't go through with it was because I was lying to my folks, basically, and also the fact that I just felt like it was fraud.
For 2 years, Tommy kept his knowledge secret from everyone except his parents. But after the discovery of the model, he decided to go public. Today it is Tommy's word against Ed's, and nobody knows who is telling the truth.
He had a spot on the floor where he could basically kneel or sit and photograph the model every single time.
The thing that impressed me most about Tommy was, first, his sincerity. He seemed very honest, very forthright.
I was sitting in the bedroom, and he went into the closet and pulled one model out and said, "No, wrong one," stuck it back up and pulled another one out.
Tommy's statements don't check out. No matter how nicely he says them and how sincerely he says them, they don't check out.
Very simply, Tommy has no axe to grind in this. Tommy has nothing to gain by coming forward and offering the details of the story that he knows.
I remember that the model had, it was a set of two sets of plates with a strip of paper around the middle.
I have been studied for